Alright, so we are running a marathon in this case. We're starting out at our home, which is right here at point E. We're running through the park to point C. So I'm guessing that's the segment we're going to need to use the distance formula for. From the park, we're running along the road. We don't need distance formula for that because we can count horizontal distances. I can see that that's just a distance of 3. Noticing my units, 3 miles. And then from point D, we're running back home. Again, I don't need Pythagorean theorem or distance formula to find that side. I can just go ahead and count vertically and say that's a distance of 4 miles. So really, we only have one side of this triangle we need to find in order to find the total distance we run around this path. I can't count diagonally, so I'm going to be relying on the distance formula, or those of you that know Pythagorean theorem, this would be a really easy one to do with Pythagorean theorem, but let me go ahead and show you how we would do this with distance. Now, with the distance formula, we need coordinates, and I see that none of my points are labeled. So noticing the origin over here at 0, 0, I'm going to use that to find the coordinates of points C and E. It looks like the coordinates of E are at 10, 3. Remember x first, horizontally first, then count vertically. Point C appears to be at the point 7, 7. So let's go ahead and use distance formula. Sorry, that's a 7. Let's use distance formula to find the distance between those 2 points. But again, Pythagorean theorem would be a really quick, easy way to do this one. So my distance is going to be equal to, I want to do x1 minus x2. I'm going to call this x1 just so I don't end up with negatives when I subtract. So I'm going to do 10 minus 7 squared plus y1 minus y2. Again, I'm going to call that y1 this time. So I guess I'll end up with negative there. So, oh well. But 3 minus 7 squared. Okay, we haven't decided yet if we're going to need an exact or approximate answer, but let's just go ahead and see what happens, and we'll make that decision later. So I've got a square root of 10 minus 7, which gets me 3 squared right there, plus 3 minus 7 gets me a negative 4. Be careful with those negatives, as I've said before. Keep it in parentheses. 3 squared gets us a 9. Negative 4 times itself, negative 4 in parentheses squared gets us 16. Add those together, get square root of 25. So it turns out it doesn't matter if we want an exact or an approximate answer because 25 is a perfect square. Square root of 25 is just 5. I have an exact answer. I don't need to worry about factor trees or decimals. Those of you that knew Pythagorean theorem and are good with your triples, that answer coming up as 5 should be no surprise to you. So I have all 3 sides of my triangle, all 3 parts of my running path. Because I want to know the total distance I run around this path, I'm just going to go ahead and add those 3 sides together. 3 plus 4 gets me 7. Add another 5 onto that, and I have a total of 12. Any story problem, you should probably label your answer. So let's go ahead and call that 12 miles. Yay for running.